In this video I'm going to show you how to change your sway bar end links on your 2011 to 2015 Chevrolet Cruze. So the first step is to jack up the car and put it on jack stand. Now the second step is to take off the wheel. So we're going to take off the hubcap and then we'll take off the wheel. I'm using a 19mm 1/2 inch with a impact wrench. Okay, so the next step is to spray some PB Blaster on the two nuts that we're going to be taking off. So we have the top one, and then we have the bottom one. Okay, so to take off the bottom bolt, we're going to need a pair of vice grips that we're going to be attaching to the back side. Okay, so to loosen the bolt, we're going to use a 18mm socket with a 3/8 ratchet to crack it loose. Make sure you're using a ratchet with a swivel head, since the lower control arm is in the way, you won't have that much space. Okay, so the bottom bolt is out now. So now we're going to loosen the top bolt. This one is a lot easier to get to because there's a lot more space now. So same thing with this one. Clamp down your vice grips on the back side of the joint. There should be a metal part where you could clamp the vice grips nice and tight. So here I'm using a cordless ratchet to finish taking off the bolt. So now there's still some pressure on the sway bar end links. So what we're going to do is take another jack and jack up where the ball joint is to relieve the tension so we can take out the sway bar. And as you jack up, you'll see the sway bar end link come loose. And now your end link should just come out like that. So the part I'm replacing it with is a aftermarket part. It's called Delphi. So I'm going to put the old one on top of the new one to make sure they're the exact same part. Okay, so to put it back, we're going to start with the bottom bolt. And now line up the top bolt. So we're going to snug down the bottom and the top bolt, and then we're going to tighten them by hand. The aftermarket part came with a 19mm bolt instead of an 18 like the other one, so I had to change sockets. You could use the old nuts that came with the other sway bar line. I'm just going to use the new ones for now. Now that everything is snug, we're going to go ahead and remove the second jack we used to lower the suspension back down. You could give your new part a good shake just to make sure everything is snug. And now we're going to put the wheel back on and tighten it to 80 foot-pounds with a torque stick. So just a recap on all the tools I used. I used a 1/2 inch impact wrench, a 3/8 ratchet, a cordless 3/8 ratchet, 80 foot-pound torque stick, some PB blaster, a jack, a short 18mm socket and a long one, as well as a short 19mm and a long one, and a 19mm impact socket, and a pair of vice grips.